reason why we're going to disc brakes is because I spent just about $1,000 on brand new drum parts, drums, front, rear, everything, rebuilt the whole system. Everything failed. The wheel cylinders are not the right diameter, and they've got aluminum bleeders in them, which is a no-no with a cast iron casting. And these shoes, this car was driven a total of 18 miles since this stuff was put on here, and I want to show you this. Okay, this 18 miles, there's not even 20 miles on these shoes, and it's got this black stuff all over it. And not only does it do this, but you can't clean it. You can keep doing it, and it keeps making the rag black. What I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but what I've heard is these brake shoes are not made out of near the same materials as they were when they were made here. And the rumor has it that there's even ground up tire rubber, cardboard, and other things mixed into this stuff.
No way.
And that's why I step on the brake, the car goes 50, 60 feet, and the brakes fade out. So that's why I'm going to disc brakes, all American stuff. I'm getting rid of this garbage once and for all. The other thing that was with the drums, the brand new drums I got, they were the correct diameter on the inside, because that's the law. They have to be a certain diameter on the inside, they can't be bigger. But what they did was they took all the metal out of the outside. So the brand new drums that I put on here were actually thinner than the original drums that had been turned 2 or 3 times that I took off.
That's crazy.
And they just heated up and burned. You try to make a high-speed stop and there's smoke rolling out of the wheel wells and everything's crazy. So that's why I'm eliminating all these brand new parts and putting more new stuff on it, but I'm going disc this time. And I actually got the disc stuff from a Mopar affiliate. They're familiar with the cars, they're familiar with the parts. I've talked to people that are using the same parts that I've used without any problems at all. It's a bolt-on operation, so we'll see. I'll have to find out on my own, but so far it looks like everything will fit, everything will work.
And there's a first time for everything. This is the first time you're putting disc brakes on one of these?
Yep, never did it before, so I'm learning. All right, when you install a cotter pin the right way, you don't have any trouble getting them out. No trouble at all. And what you do is you put the cotter pin in, you bend the longest tang all the way over until it's across the end of the bolt that you put this through, and then the other long one you snip off. That way when you go to take it off, you just take the one down here, you take your little pliers and you go whoop, and it comes right out, no problem. No screwing around with getting the 2 ends together and having to pull it out with the pliers and having to drill it out because it's stuck.
You've seen that?
Yep. Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen these things jammed in there so screwed up and so bent up that they had to be drilled out. I've actually seen it. And I've actually seen where people couldn't get it out, so they just forced the nut off, and then there was actually threads on the ends of what was left of the cotter pin, and then you had to drive it out with a punch or drill it out.
Jesus.
But if you do it this way, you don't have any of those problems. None at all. Let that jack down easily. Stuck in the backing plate. Well, that makes a little more sense anyway. There it is. the proper way to put a cotter pin in. That's the big parts. The big parts are all on. From here on in, it shouldn't be much more than doing a brake job except for putting the rubber line on. And how you can tell a real high density grease through the strings. You don't get that with normal grease. You want to work the grease all the way into the bearing until it starts coming out over the top. Once it starts coming out of the top, then you can move on to the next. Keep turning it.
Oh, that's it.
See it's starting to come out?
Yeah.
That means that it's full. You just keep doing that. A lot of guys just put grease around the outside of the bearing and figure it's going to get in. Doesn't work that way. And like I said, this grease is a little messier to work with than the other stuff, but it's so much better. You don't need to fill hub cavity with grease, but you do have to coat it. Because if you don't coat it, it'll rust, and then the rust will flake off and get in your bearing, and before you know it, your wheel will be running down the road in front of your car.